Well, I mean, I think it's very brave of him to share it with the public, and I think for the nation, it's quite a sad thing that we're all thinking about him at this time. And I guess we don't know the extent of it, but I think everybody's fingers are crossed and hoping that he'll have a quick recovery and be back as our monarch.
And just on that, what do you think about the way they've shared the diagnosis but not all of the details? Do you think they've played that well?
Well, I think so, because at the end of the day, I think illness, especially of that nature, is a very personal thing. And a lot of people don't want to share it at all. But I think sharing some of it, so we know that he's dealing with it, and other people are comfortable with sharing it, I think is a good thing. But I think some of it does need to be kept, to yourself, because it's a very personal thing. Look, I hope you get well soon, and I guess all our thoughts are with you and your family.
Well, I had cancer 6 years ago, and I've made a full recovery. So I'm really pleased that he's made it public. I think it's going to save many lives, because people if they're worried, they'll go to the doctor. So I'm hopeful he'll make a full recovery. He's a brave man.
And you've been through it. Do you have a message for King Charles today from you?
Well, I won't swear, but somebody told me that got me through it. It's SH, but you'll get through it. So to Charles, he'll get through it.
A big shock, I think that is the thing. We understood the first part, but this just happening overnight. My wife and I used to do voluntary work at Highgrove. What a wonderful man.
What interactions have you had with Charles at Highgrove?
Oh, excellent. He looks after his volunteers tremendously well. We always have a supper at Christmas with him. My wife and I have retired from that now, Absolutely first class, wonderful humanitarian.
And is he quite well known around here?
Oh, yes. Yes, and Camilla as well,
From a man who knows him, do you have a message for King Charles today?
Well, the fact that my wife went through cancer 30 years ago, and she's here still today, I wish him exactly the same good fortune. That is the truth.
Well, very, very surprised, but these things happen, and hopefully they've caught it in time. Very popular gentleman around here, as you can imagine, and basically we just hope and pray that all's going to be well. Certainly when he was Prince of Wales, he lived just down the road, and we saw quite a bit of him, yes.
Just finally, a message from you for the King.
Wish him all the well, and our prayers are with him.
Well, of course, one's very sad that he's not entirely well, but one has to be positive, and I'm sure he'll get the best treatment that's available.
And how do you think the Palace have handled releasing the news to the public?
I think they've done very well, actually. Not too much information, but enough so that we know what's going on. Get well soon, be brave, be patient, and all the very best.
Have you had any personal interactions with the King around here at all?
Many years ago I met him when he was still Prince Charles, yes.
And can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, he was just very relaxing. I was very nervous at the time, but he was so relaxing to talk to.
And just finally, do you have a message for the King today?
Yes, just get well soon and have plenty of rest.
I was shocked yesterday afternoon and hope that he will recover swiftly, back to his normal self.
Having been through it all myself, about 3 years ago, it's a journey. It's a long journey, and depending what treatment he has to have, depends how long that journey is and how disruptive it is to his everyday living. But once you get through the other end and you start recovering, which can take quite a few months even after you've just had all the chemo and radiotherapy, if that's what he's having, then you then carry on forward. But it's a bit like going through an assault course of all the different things that you have to have done. And I wish him, all the best.
Do you think him coming out and talking about it will help other people come forward and will help other people get through it?
Absolutely, yep. It was a shock yesterday, but yes, I do think it will. That has opened it up to men, and made it far more, people far more aware of, for men and even wives, girlfriends, whatever, far more aware of what can happen and the symptoms and what have you. And I think it's so much better for them now to be so open about what's happening than, you know, the closed shop type thing that, you know, okay, they're not very well, but we can all see they're not very well, but we don't know why they're not very well. And I think it's good, really good.
I'm really very sorry to hear it, but with the modern technology, I'm sure they will be able to treat it very easily, and he'll be here for another 100 years.
And how do you feel about the way the palace has handled releasing the news to us?
Well, I'm surprised actually. In the old days, they never used to say anything at all. And like most people like yourself, I am surprised. But you know, it's a different times. We're living in different times, and it's the modern age.
And just finally, do you have a message, personal message for the King today?
Well, chin up and keep doing what you're doing. That's it.
Well, I'm very sad for him, but the main thing is it's caught early. And like cancers now, if they're caught early, they can be dealt with fairly efficiently and quickly. So I think he's in good hands.
Do you have any personal interactions with the King yourself?
Not really, although I run the Tourist Information Office. I do see sometimes at Christmas he comes in to visit the Highgrove shop, and he sometimes whizzes past in a little convoy of cars on his way to London, but otherwise I don't personally have any contact with him.
And how do you feel about the way the palace have handled releasing the news to us?
I think they've done it very well. I think they've been very honest, open, and I think they've probably done it very quickly as well. So transparency is probably the best thing in this modern day and age.
And just finally, Sarah, a personal message from you to the King. What would you like to say to him?
Well, I wish him a swift recovery, and really thinking of him and all the family. And now that Harry's coming over, if he's not already here, perhaps something good will come out of something bad.